NMH at 1 highlights the news making waves ranging from current affairs, community stories, sports and economic news. Here are the headlines. President Geingob welcomes South African President and Foreign Affairs Minister for the Binational Commission. Namibia asked SA for help to develop oil industry. ACC summoned Kanji Murangi over SNT. I am Aina Kweo. You can watch all our programs on our website, which is called oneup2.com or DSTV 285 or GoTV 25 in Namibia. President Geingob and Deputy Prime Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah this morning received South African President Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa and the country's Foreign Affairs Minister Naledi Pandor to conclude the Binational Commission currently underway at State House. The commission seeks to deepen bilateral ties between Namibia and South Africa. During the earlier discussions, President Geingob said that political unrest on the African continent is a matter of grave concern that will need to be addressed. After the short commercial break, we return with the visual news. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Guy Metan, founder of the Geneva Press Club, Switzerland, said the hegemony of Western powers and media must be abolished for true equitable development to be realized. He was one of the speakers of the Belt and Road Journalist Forum that takes place alongside the Third Belt and Road Initiative 2023, taking place during October in China, Beijing. This video is courtesy of Jemima Piekes.
Okay. You know, for me, the biggest challenge, not only for journalists, but for all the people on this planet, is to build a more equitable world order. Let's say a multipolar world order. And in order to get more equal development, economic development, to share also the power on the world scene, and to escape to the hegemony, let's say, of the Western powers. And in that respect, for the journalist, it's very important in the South, let's say in the global South, but not only in the global South, I mean in Africa, Asia, Latin America, but also in my countries, the countries of the West, of the North, to help to build this more equitable world order. In trying to promote, the dignity of man, the equality of civilizations, the right to every country to have an access, to the world scene, which is not the case now, as we can say, especially in Africa. And for me, it's also interesting to notice that now African people are trying to become more independent, to escape, for instance, to the old colonial rule, for instance, in the French-speaking African countries. And for me, the role of journalists is to accompany this movement and not to stop it, which is unfortunately too often the case. I mean, especially in the northern areas.
Namibia celebrated National Arbor Day today with the planting of trees in the capital. The city of Windhoek Chief's Executive Moses Machai expresses a word of thanks to First National Bank and the European Union for their support at this year's event. And this is what the mayor of the city of Windhoek, Joseph Wapingane, had to say.
It is advisable to plant a diverse selection of indigenous Namibian trees due to their adaptability. The trees are beneficial to human in terms of food and social economic production such as wood and artistic materials. FNB Namibia and the Ministry of Environment and Forestry and Tourism donated trees and also products for the purpose of today's launch and commemoration. This indeed demonstrates the commitment towards combined efforts to combat climate change and create awareness among Windhoek residents and appreciate the importance of trees in our city and around our public open spaces. Trees are important in urban environments and serve as a minimizing source of polluted gases like nitrogen oxide, ozone, carbon monoxide, as well as dust and smoke. We know that the trees increase level of carbon dioxide because by deforestation and fossil fuel combustion, the trap head into the atmosphere. However, healthy, strong trees act as carbon sink, thereby absorbing atmospheric carbon dioxide to reduce the effects of climate change. Trees also produce overall temperatures in cities by up to 8 degrees Celsius. Ladies and gentlemen, the forest industry creates generous job opportunities. But we should not only rely on trees for work. Sustainable food producing trees provide fruit, nuts, berries, and leaves for consumption by both human and animals and guarantee health and nutrition. Trees also help to reduce stress, and allow us to reconnect with nature as well. And of course, who of us here does not enjoy a shady tree for protection from heat and dangerous UV sun rays?
After the break, we return with a newspaper review, starting with the Namibian Sun.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
The Anti-Corruption Commission last week summoned the personal assistant of Higher Education Minister Dr. Ita Kanji Murangi as part of a probe into allegations that the minister has been abusing her powers to solicit travel allowance from public entities under her ministry. ACC Director General Paulus Noah confirmed this and said the minister herself would be summoned to answer to the allegations. Some frustrated census field workers have sought political intervention after the Namibian Statistics Agency allegedly experienced issue with paying them, the United People's Movement has said. In a statement issued this week by President Jan van Wyk, the party accused the NSA of exploiting and victimizing enumerators and not paying them on time. The party received several complaints from enumerators saying that they haven't gotten paid yet, the statement reads. Meanwhile, it noted that team supervisors and enumerators had been threatened with replacement when they inquired about their payments. Republican reports that the beginning of this week, there were 26 people in shelters for victims of gender-based violence in the country. These state-owned shelters are currently facing several challenges. Doreen Sioka, the minister in the presidency responsible for gender equality, poverty eradication, and social welfare, said that by Tuesday this week, these shelters had housed 12 adults and 14 children and offered them a safe haven against the challenges they had to endure. Sioka said this in response to questions raised in Parliament about the operation of state-owned GBV shelters. Breast cancer diagnoses are increasingly common among people in their early 20s. This is according to the CEO of the Cancer Society of Namibia, Rolf Hansen. Sister Aina Ngitongo, cancer head of the medical services, believes certain stigmas about cancer among young people can have a negative impact. The number of young people being diagnosed with cancer, especially those in their 20s, is increasing. It is not just old people who get cancer, she says. An opposition party is demanding clarification about possible inconsistencies in which a state-owned company allegedly paid lawyers for those accused in fish rod corruption scandal with diverted funds. The finance minister is now expected to answer questions. That is what Allgemeine Zeitung is reporting in today's publication. Namibian mobile operator MTC, for example, allegedly diverted 1.29 billion Namibian dollars to pay lawyers for this purpose. On page 2, AZ is attending to the situation that in Africa, the available water resources are hardly used because of enormous deficiencies in the water infrastructure. Millions of people have no access. Some 411 million people in Africa currently lack even basic water services, while 799 million lack basic sanitation. 208 million still defecate in the open, and 839 million still lack basic hygiene services. This was stated by Herbert Chinokoro, senior water and sanitation expert at the African Development Bank and task manager for Namibia, Zambia, and Lesotho. He spoke on the topic at the National Workshop on Water Security and Climate Change in Namibia. We return with more newspaper review after the break. According to the Namibian newspaper, the cabinet turned down a proposal to bail out the National Petroleum Corporation, which is in debt of over 2 billion Namibian dollars and faces possible liquidation. NAMCO owes 1.1 billion to Governor Group, an international company that sells oil and other commodities. These financial troubles prompted the state-owned company to beg cabinet for a bailout. However, the government has so far refused to assist the company crippled by ongoing power struggles and allegation of irregularities. The Naute irrigation scheme in the Karas region has been without electricity for the past week, exposing data produce worth millions to the risk of rotting in the absence of power for cold storage facilities. The Evangelical Lutheran Church in Namibia is suing Urban and Rural Development Minister Erastus Utoni for directing the Ongwediva Town Council to allow a resident to apply for 2 airvents that the church claims belong to it. The church submits that they are the rightful owners of airvent 6231 and 6232 in Ongwediva Extension 2. Elson said it got the plots from the Finnish Mission Society as per agreement reached on the 15th of October in 1987 in Helsinki and on the 15th of November 1987 in Onipa. The Finnish Mission Society has been in possession of the land since the early 1926. In our next story, Kavango East Governor Bonifacius Wakudumo has implored trainees at Rundu Vocational Center to value and appreciate their cultures, beliefs and norms and not promote gay tendencies now that they are getting an education. He made the remarks recently at the RVTC official opening of the Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Sports and Cultural Festival, which ended on Sunday. South Africa is faced with a looming crisis as demand for fuel is expected to keep rising and its refining capacity remains severely constrained. Just 3 of the country's 6 refineries are operational. Speaking at the African Oil Week on Tuesday, Central Energy Fund Group chairperson Ayanda Noah said in addition to just half of South Africa's refineries now being operational, 35% of refinery design capacity is available. After the break, we return with our economic news. In economic news this afternoon, International Relations Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah has appealed to South Africa to help Namibia develop its recent oil discoveries as the country seeks to benefit from its oil riches. She made these comments at the opening of the 3rd Binational Commission between Namibia and South Africa, currently underway. Namibia recently discovered oil off the coast. This finding is commercially viable, and together with the joint venture partners, Namibia is in the process of ascertaining the volume of resources. Nandi-Ndaitwah said Namibia is at an advanced stage of developing its mineral beneficiation strategy, which seeks to encourage local value addition. Meanwhile, the country is also looking to learn from the best practices, Nandi-Ndaitwah said. Let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 11 cents to 1 British pound, 19 Namibian dollars 99 cents to 1 euro, and 19 Namibian dollars get you 1 US dollar. Local shares, Capricorn Investment Group has increased with 0.50%. Namibia Asset Management Ltd also increased with 1.40%, while everything else stays the same. Local index has increased with 0.09%, while overall index closed with 1.19%. All commodities have increased. That includes gold, copper, and Brent crude oil, but platinum has dropped with 0.75%. After the break, we return with news from Africa. Stay with us. The South African authorities say they have uncovered a coal smuggling syndicate that has played a major role in exacerbating the country's energy crisis. The South African Revenue Service led what described a search and seizure operation across 5 provinces where the smugglers are active. These provinces are Gauteng, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, Free State and Limpopo. The suspects include former employees of state-owned electricity firm Eskom. A statement said the scam involved high-grade coal being sold off and replaced with a low-grade product which has been damaging power station. Shortly, we return with international news. Stay around.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
In international news this afternoon, Israel's military on Friday called for all civilians of Gaza City, more than 1 million people, to relocate south within 24 hours as it amassed tanks nearby ahead of an expected ground invasion after a devastating attack by the militant group Hamas. Now is the time for war, Defense Minister said on Thursday, as Israeli warplanes continue pounding Gaza in retaliation for the weekend attacks by Hamas militants that killed more than 1,300 Israelis, mostly civilians. Now, the Israeli military said it would operate significantly in Gaza City in the coming days, and civilians should only return when they are advised to do so. More than 1,500 Palestinians have already been killed in the attacks. We return with a local sports news shortly. There are many Premier League matches slated for this weekend, but the match that has generated buzz on social media and elsewhere will take a center stage at the Geingob Stadium between African Stars and Chula Chula FC on Saturday. The Namibian Bowling Association annual national champion and champions single competition will be held on Saturday and Sunday at the Eros Bowling Club in the capital. Skalk van Wyk and Henriette Partridge are the defending singles champions and are ready to defend their titles against the country's best. AC Boxing Promotion is set to host its boxing event this Saturday at Wanderers Sports Hall. The main event will see one of the stable beloved Sons Flame Special One Nangolo trading leather with his Namibian compatriot Jonah Shikukutu in a non-title fight. Promoter and founder of AC Boxing Promotion, Ims Moses, said all is in place for the fight night. We return with the highlights from today's broadcast shortly.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Here are the highlights from today's broadcast. The South African authorities say they have uncovered a coal smuggling syndicate that has played a major role in exacerbating the country's energy crisis. Israel's military on Friday called for all civilians of Gaza City, more than 1 million people, to relocate south within 24 hours as it amassed tanks nearby ahead of an expected ground invasion after a devastating attack by militant group Hamas. There are many Premier League matches slated for this weekend, but the match that has generated buzz on social media and elsewhere will take center stage at the Geingob Stadium between African Stars and Chula Chula FC on Saturday. Thank you very much for watching NMH at 1 today. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor Gooi Kolen. Dit is donderdagse sportstrijf noem. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om Frans te praten. Je m'appelle? Je bent?
Le jour.
Je raad je me ko.
Is dit een onderbroek?
Blijf geschakeld, we zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooi kool!
Gooi kool! Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor Gooi Kolen. Dit is donderdagse sportstrijf noem. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om Frans te praten. Je m'appelle? Je bent?
Le jour.
Je raad je me ko.
Is dit een onderbroek?
Blijf geschakeld, we zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooi kool!
Gooi kool! Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor Gooi Kolen. Dit is donderdagse sportstrijf noem. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om Frans te praten. Je m'appelle? Je bent?
Le jour.
Je raad je me ko.
Is dit een onderbroek?
Blijf geschakeld, we zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooi kool!
Gooi kool! Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor Gooi Kolen. Dit is donderdagse sportstrijf noem. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om Frans te praten. Je m'appelle? Je bent?
Le jour.
Je raad je me ko.
Is dit een onderbroek?
Blijf geschakeld, we zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooi kool!
Gooi kool! Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor Gooi Kolen. Dit is donderdagse sportstrijf noem. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om Frans te praten. Je m'appelle? Je bent?
Le jour.
Je raad je me ko.
Is dit een onderbroek?
ingeschakeld. We zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooi kool.
Gooi kool.